Hey hockey fans, welcome to Goal Line Hockey, and today we're going to take a look at the Tampa Bay Lightning as we continue this season outlook series. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe. I didn't think I'd be doing this early, but let's get right into why the Tampa Bay Lightning are out of the Stanley Cup playoffs. All right, so looking at the points leaders for the Tampa Bay Lightning at the end of this season, Nikita Kucherov leading the way with 128 points. 128. Man, what a season for Kuch. Steven Stamkos right behind him with 98 points. Brayden Point, 92 points for Brayden Point. What a year for him. Victor Hedman, 54 points, and Yanni Gourde with 48 points. The record for this Tampa Bay team, they had 62 wins, a franchise record, 16 losses, and 4 overtime losses. So this team lost 20 games over the entire season. They had 128 points. They were the President's Trophy winners, first in the NHL and the Atlantic, obviously. And a historic regular season. And the best, in the new era of the NHL with, no ties, having extra points and things like that, this is the best team we have had in that era. And it really comes down to, where's the hardware? They'll be getting lots of individual hardware this summer, but the closest thing they got to a Stanley Cup was the President's Trophy. And the curse seems to be living on in Tampa Bay. As we take a look at the Lightning here, they were out of gas. Right off the bat, you could tell Columbus has already been fighting, playing Game 7s for the past 2-3 weeks at this point. And they've been grinding their way down, really trying to, they've been in playoff form for almost a month now. Tampa just kind of strolled their way into the playoffs, and they hit a brick wall in Bobrovsky, literally and figuratively, in the first round. Steven Stamkos, there's this growing concern that Stamkos is becoming, extremely quiet in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and that was very apparent in this first round, as well as Nikita Kucherov, who got suspended for Game 3. Victor Hedman was out of the lineup with injuries and whatnot. It's really crazy that Tampa, I don't even know how to describe Tampa's season this year. It was just such a letdown. And I don't know what to say. It just, Vasilevsky couldn't keep things up. Bobrovsky was so good. And Vazzy just couldn't keep up with the way Bobrovsky was playing. He's been playing this way, like I said earlier, the whole team in Columbus has been playing playoff hockey for a month, and Tampa was just dipping their toes in, and they didn't even get a chance to even, get any further than the nail on the toe. They had nothing in this series. It was atrocious for Tampa. And they destroyed everybody's bracket, so thanks, Tampa. Hopefully the redemption helps, but I don't think it will. There's been rumors now, the season's over for Tampa. The team, really, there's nothing to say. It's so upsetting. You could make up excuses wherever you want, but this team just flat out just got completely outplayed, and that's it. Okay, so back to the rumors. Ryan Callahan. Ryan Callahan could be moved. And there's a couple of places that come to mind, in my opinion. I think Florida would have been a good fit if it wasn't a state division rival. I wouldn't be surprised if Lou Lamoriello and the New York Islanders looked at Ryan Callahan, maybe shaving off a little bit of that cap. He plays that Islanders way. It's only for the next year. The Islanders may have a lot of salary cap this summer, depending on who they re-sign. And that's something I'm going to have to get into in another video. Um, you know, they need to shed some salary here in Tampa because there's a guy named Brayden Point that they have to re-sign this summer. And that is not going to be an easy task with Callahan and the next guy who I'm going to talk about here. Anton Strawman could be moved. I think Strawman may be an easier contract to move, surprisingly, just because he still has a lot left in the tank. I truly believe. You could tell his skating has been an issue at points, but his veteran leadership and the way he is defensively, I think could really help some teams. Looking at teams like Buffalo, looking at teams like New Jersey, I think those would be, top contenders for trying to acquire Anton Strawman. With Toronto, maybe look at him if they can, shave a little bit of cap off there. They don't really have much cap space, so Tampa might have to retain a little bit. So we'll see what happens. It would be interesting though to see what the Tampa Bay Lightning do to try and bring Brayden Point back. Now, looking at the prospects for Tampa, not all hope is lost for this team. I mean, you've got some guys, Cal Foote, Gabriel Fortier, Gabriel Dumont, and Jimmy Huntington. So some pretty good hockey players there. They've lost a lot of guys over the past couple of years, specifically to the New York Rangers. We've seen Tampa and New York make trades recently over the past really 5 or 6 years on a regular basis. They've lost guys like Brett Howden, Anthony D'Angelo, I believe. They traded him to Arizona, then he went there. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. They did get some really good players, though. They have McDonough. They have Callahan. That's just the way it works, unfortunately. And Tampa's starting to face the reality that the salary cap, it only goes up so much, and it's going to come back, and it's gonna finally bite the Tampa Bay Lightning this year, I think. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, you got guys like Killorn making a lot of money. Like I mentioned earlier, Strawman. This is going to be interesting for Tampa, what they do. It's not going to be easy, but I like the management there. Julien Brisebois, I think he learned enough from Steve Yzerman, and I think he'll be able to get the Tampa Bay Lightning in a situation to compete next season. Thank you for watching us here at Goal Line Hockey. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe as well. And thank you for staying tuned with us as we continue the Season Outlook series. We're in the playoff teams now and some real upsets. Man, the playoffs have been so good moving forward. But just if you stay to the end, make sure to let me know who you think is going to be in the Stanley Cup Finals in the Eastern Conference. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.